ugly old 90s tub that's in desperate need of an update? Well, you're in luck, because today we're gonna tear out this big, ugly, old 90s style garden tub, and we're gonna replace it with this sleek, freestanding tub. We're gonna walk you through how we rerun the plumbing, how we put in new faucets, new drains, finish the tile, the drywall, everything, even add this cool fireplace, and we're walking through step by step, and at the end we'll give a review of how it went, as well as how much money it cost us. Let's get started. So this big 90s garden tub is over 30 years old, and it's time for a refresh. We're gonna remove it. We're gonna probably have to move the drain and the plumbing, and we're gonna put in a nice modern freestanding tub that should be really, really nice. And I think my wife will be really happy because she's been saying that this is kind of dated. Now, if you come on over here, you're gonna see this is a really large tub with an offset drain. So we're gonna figure out, once we get it all out, where our plumbing is, where our drain is, and what we want to put here. But we've got a nice wide space that we can put in a nice sized tub. We haven't picked one out yet, but we're gonna pick it out once we kind of get everything situated. We also have enough leftover tile to cover this area with the floor, but you want to make sure you know what you're gonna do underneath it. You could switch to a different style tile, maybe like a pebble or something if you didn't have the original tile, but luckily we have enough to cover this. So what we're gonna do is start slowly, methodically, taking apart all the plumbing fixtures, getting the drain out, and then we're gonna make some nice lines and come along, cut the drywall, and neatly do this demolition. Let's get started. All right, well, we are about 4 hours into this demolition here, and as you can see, it's going really well. Kind of take your time, make sure you have all the proper protective equipment, and try to clean up as you go to make it a more manageable mess. We also open a window for some ventilation, and we run a mask of all the fumes, and this also helps to throw some trash out the window as we're getting through this big project here. So the first thing we want to check out, once we got everything kind of cleared out, is sort of what we have in terms of the drain situation. So you see, when this house was built in this slab foundation, they sort of made a cutout for the drain. We dug out a little bit. So that's where we're going. But the tub that we're looking at is a center drain. So we've kind of marked where we think that the drain gonna need to be based on the manufacturer's schematics. And what we're going to do now is we're gonna cut a channel. So you want about 1/4 inch of rise per foot so that it will drain properly. So we have plenty of ability to do that rise, but the easiest way to do this would be to rent a concrete saw. Just go to your local hardware store, rent a concrete saw. We're gonna try to do it by drilling holes and breaking out with a sledgehammer, but if we need to, we'll go and rent one. Make sure you measure a lot because you don't wanna have to redo this cut here. Also, kind of a neat note, we have power here from the old jet tub, and what we may do is we may put in a electric fireplace, which would be kind of cool with the freestanding tub. So we're gonna go ahead and keep cleaning up, keep getting this project moving along, break out this channel, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do with the plumbing and get this going. Stay tuned, it's going pretty well. All right, well, that was a lot of work, but as you can see, we've got that new trench completely broken out. I would recommend renting a jackhammer, chipping hammer, concrete saw, because this was a lot of work, but we were able to get it done. So we're gonna have to see how we're gonna do that new plumbing in here once we get the new bathtub fitted, which we'll show you in a little bit, and then also the specialty drain that we do for these freestanding tubs. If you see over here is all of our plumbing that we're gonna have to move out of this wall and reroute to center it in a wall mount faucet we're gonna do right behind us. So I see a little bit of water damage in this shower, and you know, we're in the middle of this project. I think we're just gonna rip out this whole shower and redo that as well, but that's another video. But when we come back in just a few days, you'll see that this wall will be gone, we'll be more prepped. We're gonna continue on with this bathtub replacement. Let's keep going. All right, well, we have measured everything out, double checked our measurements, and we are exactly where we wanna be with the new tub. So now we're gonna start to do the plumbing. We've excavated all the right depth of soil, and then we're gonna cut this old drain out. Now this drain is a 2-inch drain, and then it's reduced to a, I think it's 1.5, but we're gonna go ahead and use a 2-inch drain as well. So there's different ways to cut this. I'm gonna use an oscillating tool right here. However, when you're cutting longer lengths, I really like these ratcheting scissors to try to cut pipes because I can never seem to get a straight cut. Hacksaw works as well, but it's all kind of hard because you're in very confined spaces. So to cut this, I'm just gonna get down here, be very careful, All right, once you get all that out, then we're gonna go ahead and start fitting the pipe. So what we've done is we've kind of already started measuring out and cutting some 2-inch pipe. If you can use a long sweeping elbow, that would be best. However, you may be limited on how much room you have and how much depth, but you wanna make sure you get about a 1/4 inch of drop per foot, which we talked about earlier. So you gotta measure down, you gotta fit your pipe on, and then we're going to dry fit everything. We use a special drain. This drain we'll link in the description, but this is gonna be used for a freestanding tub, and we'll talk about this a few different times throughout this whole project. It's sealed right now, we'll break it off when we open it up. So this metal rim sits at floor level. So once you get this in, we're gonna dry fit it. It's all gonna be a little tighter. But basically we put this down, and what we can do now is we can start to measure to make sure that we are at the right slope. So again, everything is not as tight as it should be. So from this side to the top, we're gonna be about 6 inches right here. And then we measure over here, so we need about 3/4 inch of drop. Right here, we're at about 7 inches. So we've got just the right amount of drop for this 3 feet. So we're gonna go ahead and use your normal PVC cement, purple primer, and the cement. And we're gonna get everything here one piece at a time, make sure we take our time, make sure it's good seals, and we'll go ahead and get this all filled in. After that's done, we're gonna backfill with all this fill, and then we're gonna lay some concrete on the top to seal it all in. Here we go. Once you refill in some of that sand and soil and pack it down a little bit, then you're gonna go ahead and add some concrete. Now this concrete is a little wetter than I would like, but you wanna add about 4 inches of concrete back to where you had taken out the original concrete. And we're gonna add this in, and then we're gonna go ahead and trowel it smooth. Now another thing to note is we covered the drain with this bag. At the end we will take the bag off, but right now I just wanna make sure we don't get any concrete into that drain. So go ahead and buy an extra bag just so you have enough, because you can't add concrete to dried concrete. And shouldn't be too bad. We'll show you how we trowel it. So the lip of your drain should be just even with the top of the concrete. And then we're gonna tile over it a little bit. So we're gonna make sure this gets into all the nooks and crannies. Smooth out the whole surface, and then we'll remove the bag so that it can dry properly. Stay tuned. All right, well, it looks like the drain's perfectly centered. We're gonna finish kind of smoothing that out, making that concrete perfect and ready for some tile. And then next time you check it back, we'll be removing these old faucets, running some new faucet lines, and starting to install the tile. So project is going smoothly. Hope you're tracking so far. All right, well, our concrete is nice and set. We've rerun our plumbing lines and tapped into the hot and cold, and we've run them over this way using PEX piping. Now what I like to do when I'm using PEX piping is to use shark bite fittings. These are Evo PEX, which are for PEX to PEX, or you can use brass connectors that can go ahead and connect PEX to brass or PVC. It has a lot of different functions. So it's really, really nice. But what we want to do now is hook up the new faucet for the tub. Sometimes you can do a freestanding faucet. We're doing one wall mount, and we're gonna have it come out and drop into the tub. So you're gonna put your backer plate on according to instructions of how deep you need it. Basically it's attached into the side of your studs. And then you're gonna go ahead and figure out where you want your plumbing to be. I've already marked this line. So we're gonna take this with this PEX and these fittings. And you wanna mark also how deep it needs to go in. So we're gonna have red to hot, blue to cold. This normally would have been all blue, but I kind of ran low on little piping, so I used some white I had. And basically you're just gonna set it up, and you're gonna fit it all the way in, making sure it's in there nice and connected. And we're good to go. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna water test everything and make sure through the pressure that we have no leaks, and then we'll keep on moving forward with the project. It's been a couple weeks, and we've made a lot of progress on our shower as well as our tub area. So now what we're doing is we've slapped up some drywall over that new plumbing, and we're just going ahead and patching it with drywall compound. So there's a ton of videos on the internet of how to patch it, so you can check those out, and I'll show you right here how we do it. So you just wanna go over to your screw holes, and you're just gonna put a little bit of drywall compound on it. I like to use a pre-bought bucket style. Just gonna put a little bit over there. You're gonna smooth over it, and you can always come back later. I like to use a wet sponge to minimize dust and wipe that up. What's most important are gonna be your seams. So that's why it's good when we do the demolition to keep your seams nice and clean. And the trick that I like to use for doing seams is I put a good amount of drywall compound along the entire seam before we put any tape. So you're gonna cover both sides and just put a bunch. Once you've gotten the whole area covered, you're gonna grab your paper tape or mesh tape, whatever you like. I like paper tape. And you're gonna start right in the middle. Again, there's different ways to do this, but you're gonna go all the way along that seam, centering the tape on the seam. With the tape centered on the seam, you can go ahead and make sure that it's seated pretty well. Then you're gonna take a 6-inch drywall knife. You can either use a 6-inch or a 4-inch for this step. And you're gonna hold the tape at the edge, and then in one motion, you wanna smooth it along, removing the excess drywall compound. Once you've done that one smooth pass over it, you can do another light pass, but it's important, we're all good through this, do not overwork it. You're gonna come back after it's dry, and I like to just use a nice grout sponge, wet it down, and you should be able to smooth it on in. You may not have to apply a second coat. If you do, use a 6 to 12-inch drywall knife, and just go ahead and smooth that out. Then we'll get ready for some painting. Keep on moving along with the project. All right, we are all done with painting, and we finished up all the drywall. It's looking really, really good. So now it's time to start tiling where we had that tub. Now, as we said earlier in the beginning of the video, if you have not enough of the matching tile, you could do a different kind of tile, like a pebble or something else underneath it to make it blend. We have just enough spare tile to finish this and make it match the floor. Now, important, when you have your drain that we put in, we smoothed it all out, we grinded the concrete, made it nice and level, but you don't really need to worry about the drain cut being perfect because it's gonna be underneath the tub. Also, you could probably short yourself a couple tiles if you needed to, because they're gonna be hidden underneath that tub, and there's leveling feet on most of them, we'll show you in a little bit to get level. So, next step is gonna be just to start getting the tile laid, let it get nice and set, grout it, and then we'll move on to finishing this project and putting the tub in. Stay tuned. We got the tile all done and it looks really, really good. We have another video on this channel that shows you how to cut tile with a simple angle grinder. So we'll go ahead and link that, you can check it out. That's how we did this whole shower as well as most of this here. So it worked out really, really easy. Now what we're going to do is we're gonna get it all grouted in, and then we're gonna trim out some baseboard and get it finished up. And when we come back, it'll be ready to set the tub. So stay tuned, we're getting to the end. The floor is all tiled, it's grouted, we did the trim around, painted everything, even put in that cool little fireplace. Now, we had that jacuzzi tub that used to be here from the 1990s. It had a power outlet already located in the wall for this. So we took that power outlet that was powering the jacuzzi feature of the old tub, and we used it for this. So it's kind of a neat way to reuse it. But come on over here. So we've gotten everything all settled. Again, the actual cut isn't too precise around here, that's okay. Nobody's ever gonna see it. But then with this drain that we've used, you're gonna grab the center, work it back and forth, and it's gonna snap it out. And that's got this nice feature here, which is a really good O-ring. So that is where your tub drain tube is going to go into that nice rubber gasket there. So you get this all tightened down, and then you're going to measure how high this sticks above the surface of the tub, which this one is just under 6 inches, about 5 inches. You can put a flat edge against it. And you want to measure down here and say, okay, how much length before this pipe turns, which is close to 8 inches over 7. So plenty of room there for that. If not, you may need to get a shorter tube here. Once you've determined that, you're going to take some lubricant and you want to apply that lubricant to this pipe to just help it get a nice slide into that seal there. With that pipe all lubed up, you can do a test fit if you'd like. We've already done that, so we know that it's sitting nice and level. Now, these freestanding tubs are all a little different, but usually they have some sort of leveling feet that you want to make sure are actually what bears the weight, not the edges. And you want to make sure that your floor is nice and level to where it's going to sit nice and flush. Once you're good on those things, then you're gonna take some silicone caulk, and we're gonna use clear for this part, and we're gonna run a bead all the way along the edge here before we put it down. And that's gonna glue it down, and they'll come along the outside with a white silicone caulk and really seal it again. Now we're gonna leave a small opening in the very back, about 1 inch wide, so if there is a leak, we know about it, it doesn't just pool underneath here. So we're just gonna go ahead and run a nice bead along the edge there, and we can clean up any extra. So with a helper, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that, and then we're gonna slowly go straight down, trying not to have to move it too much, and it should slide straight in. Now we're gonna take a measuring tape, and make sure that it is the equal distance away from the wall. And we will show you when we are finished sealing it up. We've got a little cleanup to do there as well. Last finishing touch is you're gonna take some 100% silicone, probably a white, and you're gonna work it right along the edge, around the tub. And once you do that, you can take a nice smoothing tool and create a good, pretty finish. Wiping up any debris with a paper towel. So we'll finish it up, we'll let this dry, and then we're gonna jump on over to putting on the faucet, and we will be almost done. Can't wait to tell you how the whole project went and run it down through a cost analysis and everything else. Okay, we finished tightening this on after putting on Teflon tape and some plumber's dope onto that. We've attached our faucets. We're gonna put on the finishing hardware, and that right there is a really nice faucet. We picked this faucet up off Amazon. I'll link in the description. It's a Submarine faucet. Never used this one, but it came out really nice, and the distance from the wall was good to where it's fitting right into the tub, and it should work just right. So we're gonna go ahead, my wife's gonna come in, gonna help to decorate this space, and then we'll do a final closeout talking about how this job went, how much it cost us, and overall what our thoughts were. Stay tuned. All right, we are all done finally, and it looks fantastic. The decorations came out nice, the fireplace looks cool, and overall this project surpassed our expectations in terms of the finished product. Really, really cool, very proud of this work. The shower's nice, but most importantly for this video, the freestanding tub really opened up the space and updated it to get away from that old 90s style tub that we had before. Now in terms of time spent on this project, we're gonna talk about time and price. So this has been done on the weekends in a couple hours a weekend whenever we have time. We got 3 young kids, so we can't work on this all the time. And this project, although we made it look really short, took about 6 months. So understand that there's a lot of drying time in between each step, whether it's the drywall or the tile or the concrete or all these things. You can't just go one by one, so there's a lot of dead time. So this took quite a while, but it was definitely worth it. And it was a tough project, although it's not anything that I don't think a decent do-it-yourselfer can't knock out. Just follow the steps, take your time, and make sure that you're very meticulous with all your measurements so you don't have to redo stuff. In terms of price, this update here, total cost comes in at about $1,500. This tub we got from Lowe's was around, I think about $700. We'll link it in the description. You also have got faucet here. We've got the tub drain, we've got the new tile, the new fireplace, all this stuff. So all the materials and all the mortar and paint and everything else, total cost all in about $1,500. This shower was about another $5,000, so that's a much bigger job. But all in all, this total project that you see here was just under $7,000. So really, really happy with it. Hope this helps you out. Hope if you're gonna take and tackle that 90s style giant garden tub or built-in and want to update it, this gives you a little confidence that you can accomplish it. And remember, with all of our videos, if I can do it, you can too. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out our library of home DIY projects to bring your house up to the modern day. Again, thanks for watching, and again, if I can do it, you can too.